Today, Israel officially announced their operation to restore peace to their northern border, and they're calling it Operation Northern Arrows. This officially or unofficially began last week when Israel blew up the pagers of thousands of Hezbollah terrorists. From there, things have gone from unbelievable to insane. I'm Ben, and this is the Israel Guys. So some time ago, Hezbollah had switched their communication system to pagers because Israel was tapping their phones and tracking their movements around Lebanon. They thought that using the simple old-fashioned beepers would be more secure than using cell phones for Hezbollah. The terrorists could be paged when they wanted to call up units for exercises or actual operations, and the methods that Israel could use to hack into them would be much more limited because you're just talking about just a simple beeper. It seems like Israel predicted this move, though, and they had shell companies set up in Europe producing pagers specifically for this purpose, or that's the way the rumors are rolling as of right now. With Israel's knowledge of how Hezbollah operates, they were able to win the contracts for the pagers, and Hezbollah paid Israel money. At least that's the way the rumor's going right now. They paid Israel money for these pagers that were laced with just a few grams of plastic explosives, and these pagers wound up in the pockets of Hezbollah. Israel was able to then bide their time and wait for a moment, specifically like last week. They set off thousands of explosions across Lebanon, injuring terrorists all over the place. Hezbollah panicked and switched to their backup communication system, which was handheld radios, walkie-talkies. Then Israel blew those up too. You can see in just this phenomenal video a funeral for a senior Hezbollah commander that was killed by a pager, and one of the guards, his radio explodes at the funeral. According to reports, these numbers may or may not be accurate. 879 Hezbollah terrorists died in the attack. Also, 291 senior Hezbollah commanders, 509 Hezbollah terrorists were blinded, and 1,735 suffered injuries to their reproductive areas. 613 Hezbollah terrorists received permanent functional damage from the attack. With no way to communicate or no reliable way to communicate, they had no idea of what other devices they had that might explode. The top Hezbollah commanders met in a bunker under an apartment building in person in Beirut to plan their next attack. Rumor has it that they were planning a raid into northern Israel in retaliation, another October 7th-like event. Israel somehow traced that meeting and were able to strike it with a precision missile, killing multiple senior commanders in Hezbollah, including the commander of the Radwan, Hezbollah Special Forces, the reported number 2 commander overall for Hezbollah. Hezbollah's supreme leader Nasrallah then went live for a speech from a bunker in Beirut, where he vowed to retaliate on Israel. Israel scrambled a fleet of F-35s who flew over his head, breaking the sound barrier over Beirut that could be heard in the background of his speech. So Israel's not only bringing top-level destruction to Hezbollah, but also top-level trolling as well, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. Following all of that, Hezbollah has continued to shoot rockets at northern Israel, and the Iron Dome has been working overtime to defend against the attacks, as you can see in these videos. This is an unbelievable clip of a car on a highway in Israel when sirens started going off. Then this happened. This highlights exactly why Israel needs to do an operation like this. Israelis cannot continue to live like this. You can't live with missiles exploding over your head. You cannot live driving to the grocery store and having a missile literally land beside your car on the highway. A society cannot function when millions of Israelis have to run to bomb shelters every 2.5 minutes in the middle of the night or in broad daylight. Kids in school having to hunker down under their desks. Just over the last 24 hours, Mogen David Adom, the volunteer ambulance service inside of Israel, reported that 9 Israelis were injured while trying to get to bomb shelters. Heart attacks, sprained ankles, things like that. We've seen damage all over Israel recently from not only rockets that slip through the Iron Dome, landing in people's neighborhoods, but also shrapnel from the Iron Dome when it has to intercept rockets from such close range, having to intercept directly over cities, and shrapnel that wasn't completely blown up in the explosion falling into the streets as well. We'll get into much more on this subject here in just a minute, but first, do you want to get involved in supporting Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria? Blessed by Israel provides a way to have the amazing products from small family-owned businesses in the biblical heartland delivered to your doorstep. While you enjoy the wonderful goodness of the land, you can know that your purchases are contributing to a strong Israel. Your purchases of olive oil, honey, ceramics, cosmetics, jewelry, and so much more are an investment in the pioneering families of Judea and Samaria who are rebuilding their homeland. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase beautiful boutique products and make your impact today. Use the code INVEST for $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com or click the link in the description below. Apparently, for quite some time now, the IDF has been carefully mapping the locations of where Hezbollah is storing their missiles. In this video, IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari explains how this works.
This is a village in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah stores cruise missiles, rockets, launchers, and UAVs inside civilian homes, hidden behind the Lebanese population living in the village.
Israel has been taking this intelligence information and pounding Hezbollah from the air, as you can see in these videos. You can see in this clip here how the IDF strikes what looks to be a civilian house, but you can see in the secondary explosions, rockets flying out of the house as the fire from the Israeli strikes ignites them. Just over the last 24 hours, the IDF has struck over 1,600 Hezbollah targets from the air. At the start of the war, Hezbollah was estimated to have over 40,000 short-range rockets. Over the last few months, the IDF has estimated that they have destroyed over half of those rockets in targeted strikes, so more than 20,000. This means that the threat is still very real, though. Tens of thousands of rockets remain in Hezbollah's possession, not to mention the long-range missiles and UAVs that they have as well. The IDF has been making hundreds of thousands of phone calls and dropping thousands and thousands of leaflets over southern Lebanon, encouraging civilians to move north as this operation, Northern Arrows, proceeds into southern Lebanon. Bibi Netanyahu also made a public statement to the Lebanese people, warning them to take Israel very seriously.
I have a message for the people of Lebanon. Israel's war is not with you. It's with Hezbollah. For too long, Hezbollah has been using you as human shields. It placed rockets in your living rooms and missiles in your garage. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Don't let Hezbollah endanger Lebanon. Please, get out of harm's way now. Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes.
It seems like a lot of people are heeding his warning. Videos are surfacing of thousands of cars headed into northern Lebanon. There's also pictures of thousands of cars migrating into Syria as well. In one of the recent strikes Israel did on Hezbollah, they were able to target Abu Jawad Kareki, the head of Hezbollah's missile array, and he was eliminated in Beirut. They also struck Hezbollah's number 3 commander, Ali Karaki, also in Beirut, and it looked like they wounded him. He wasn't eliminated, but they were able to wound him. This is a chart. I just saw this, and this is fascinating. This is a chart of Hezbollah's command structure. So far in this war, not a single tank has rolled into Lebanon. Not a single IDF soldier has put boots on the ground. And yet, look who's left of the senior command of Hezbollah. Nasrallah, the supreme leader of Hezbollah, is looking kind of lonely over there. Maybe he won't be lonely for very long. There are indications that Israel is specifically going after him. And with her success record so far, who knows how long he has left here on this earth. In the midst of all of this, President Biden just announced that he will be sending more troops to the Middle East out of an abundance of caution, in his words. From what I've heard, we already have about 40,000 troops here in the region, American troops. So this would be in addition to that force that we already have. They're also sending the Truman aircraft carrier, 2 destroyers, and a cruiser to join the Abraham Lincoln carrier that's already in the Mediterranean. I think that this will probably be a good thing overall. It will hopefully be some level of deterrence for ours and Israel's enemies to not get too out of hand. It will be good backup if too many countries attack Israel at the same time, as we saw with Iran's major attack on Israel, where they fired over 300 missiles at Israel from Iran, and the U.S. was able to help in that defense. Those aircraft carriers were pivotal in that operation. So as you can see so far, Israel's Operation Northern Arrows is in full swing. It's looked different than a lot of people predicted, but it is in full swing, and it has been enormously successful so far. The command structure of Hezbollah has completely crumbled, and they are eliminating their missile capabilities one launcher at a time. And hopefully soon we'll be able to drive Hezbollah off Israel's northern border and restore peace to Israel once again. Guys, continue to pray for Israel, for the government to have wisdom and discernment on the right steps to take here. Also for protection over the men and women of the IDF, as well as the civilians in Israel. Don't forget to check out our friends at Blessed by Israel. The link is in the description below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and join us here at the Israel Guys. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what is happening in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.